Hi, my name is Angela Galloway, and I am your STA220 instructor this semester. And so I wanted to make a quick or maybe long video that kind of goes over our Blackboard page and also the My Labs, which is where you'll do most of your assignments, your homework, and your quizzes. But the nice thing is everything is contained in the Blackboard page. So once you're there, you just have to find all the links that you need. So I want to go through that looking at our Blackboard page. And you'll see the different modules are listed down here. This is where you'll find your homework, quizzes, and tests. There'll be more modules added as we go throughout the semester. I'm just still working on finishing up due dates and making sure everything looks correct before I open them for you all to work through. But the things at the top here should stay the same throughout the semester. So anytime you need to look at the syllabus or the schedule, those things should always be found here up in the Student Start Here section. So if you haven't looked there already, you should see the my information, the overview of the course. The course syllabus is going to tell you how your grade is calculated, any policies that I have about late work or how to withdraw from a class. All those things are in the course syllabus. The course assignments and due dates, this also can be found in the syllabus. This little table here is also in the syllabus, but this is just a quick way to look at it if you're wanting to know like when something is due or making sure that you've got everything finished up on time, then you can see the due dates listed there. It also says here at the bottom of the screen that your past due assignments can still be completed for just a 5% grade reduction. So we do have different types of assignments. We have homework, we have quizzes, we have tests. And so they are going to have different attempts allowed, different time limits. So just be aware of that. You should be able to see that when you start an assignment in My Labs. It should show you how many attempts you have, how much time you have, and all that. The syllabus acknowledgement is what's due the first week of the class. So this just says that you have read the syllabus and you understand how this class is set up. It also has a question or a place for you to leave any questions if you want to ask me something that way. So that's what we see here in the Student Start Here. This is always available up at the top if you need tutoring. There is virtual tutoring that we have through SkyCTC with Math Tutor. So what most students will use in this class is either my lecture notes or my lecture videos or some combination of the two. So this has all the lecture notes just listed out. These are the ones that I've used in class, so you can see kind of what it would be like if we were in a lecture class, what I would lecture through. These lecture videos are sorted by module that we're going to be working on, and I have ones in there that are just basic lectures of like a certain section or chapter, but I'll also add in videos if people ask a certain question about how to use a calculator or a certain homework problem that students have trouble with. I'll make videos for those as well and link them into the correct module that they go with. So there's lots of different things on there that you hopefully will find helpful as you're working through the course. The My Labs quick links, these are all links for things you would find in My Labs, which is where we're going to do our homework and quizzes, etc. But it's just a quick reference to find things that you might find helpful. The first thing is the formula sheet. This just shows all the different formulas by chapter. This is straight from the textbook. This is your My Stat Lab or My Labs grade book. Now there is a grade book here, which is the Blackboard grade book, which would have your overall grade, and that would be where your official grade for the class is. However, the My Labs grade book shows the homework and the quiz grades as soon as you do them. When you're doing something in My Labs, like you're doing a homework assignment, when you finish it, it's possible that when you come back to the Blackboard grade book, you won't see the grade immediately. So it does take some time to sync between the My Labs and the Blackboard. So if your My Labs grade book, shows that you made 100 on an assignment and the Blackboard gradebook isn't showing that yet, I would say just wait a little bit, maybe wait 30 minutes, whatever, check it later, and it should be up to date at that point. But another thing you can do with the MyLabs gradebook is if you want to go back and review a quiz, so you don't just want to know your score, but you want to go back and review it, you should be able to go to this gradebook and click on review. There should be a little option beside the grade that says review, and that way you can look through what were the right answers and what were the wrong answers and all that to help you study either for your next attempt on a quiz or if you're studying for like the midterm, and you're looking at old tests, you can review that way. The e-text is the textbook, so that is where you would go if you wanted to just read through the text, the chapter, or the specific section. And as you're working through the e-textbook, they have some extra things in the e-textbook. One thing is, if you see like this here, it says "You try it" example. That is where you can try an example that's similar to the one they're talking about here. That's something that could help you on your homework because they are going to be like homework problems, so you could click on those. There are also, I was trying to find an example of a video. Sometimes there'll be a little thing you can click on that might show a video. But you also see that in the textbook, they will reference like how to use technology, like this one showing you how to get a random number using the calculator. They'll sometimes also show you how to use it, use Excel or use StatCrunch. So there are a lot of options in the textbook in addition to just, looking at terminology and examples. There's also things about using technology that can be helpful. StatCrunch is similar to kind of Excel if you're used to using Excel for some data analysis. StatCrunch kind of looks like that because it has the rows and the columns and all that like this. But it is more set up for statistical problems. So like you see here when you, mainly you would type your data, you'd have your data in here, and then you go here and it shows a lot of things that we would be doing in statistics. So not just, adding or whatever, but actually looking at distributions and all that. So you can see all these different graphs that it has, a lot more than what we would see typically in Excel. So it's already kind of set up thinking about statistics. So that is an option for you to use. You can use that on any of your homework or quizzes or tests. You can use Excel, you can use a graphing calculator. Any of those things are allowed to use when you're working on your assignments. This Tools for Success here has some helpful guides about using the calculator, StatCrunch, Excel. It has videos, it has little study note cards that you can use. The same thing for the study plan. It's a place to do extra practice, extra homework. It doesn't count towards your overall grade, but it does hopefully help you prepare for your actual homework or your test or quizzes that you're working on. All right, now inside Blackboard, I do have some assignments that are set up in there. So some of you have already done this first one, the discussion board for week 1, but the other weekly reviews are listed in here. There could be others that will be updated or added as we go. I see I still have these due dates I need to update, but they'll be set up and available for you to work on as we go throughout the semester. I'll also try to always put announcements each week to say, this is what's due this week, to make sure you're aware of what you have coming up for that week. So in addition to the homework or the quizzes, that you also remember that we have weekly reviews to work on. Those are mainly to kind of keep you on track, especially since it's an online class and we're not seeing each other face to face every week. It can be easy to kind of just put the class on the back burner and kind of forget about it until, oh, I have an assignment that's due in 2 weeks, but I'll just get to that in 2 weeks, right? But you really should be working on the assignments each week or every few days so that you're understanding the concepts and you're not just trying to cram it all into one weekend. And so the weekly reviews are trying to help keep you on track of this is where you should be. These are the things you should understand by the end of this week. Weekly reviews and all our assignments are always due on Sundays. Okay, and so then if we go to like a module 1 or the module 2, each of our modules includes 2 chapters. So module 1 is chapter 1 and 2. They all start out with a module overview, which just tells you what this module is going to be about, some of the things you're going to learn. So it explains that here, and then the competencies are by the end of this module, this is what you should be able to do. These are the things that you should have learned. And then it shows you the module activities of, you know, this is what you're going to do. These are the things you can read, etc. So if you see the textbook, that is really just a link straight back to the textbook, the e-textbook we looked at before, but this is set up where it goes immediately, you know, to that specific chapter or section. Here are the actual homework. So sometimes the homeworks are, sometimes there's just 1 or 2 homeworks, sometimes there's 4 homeworks. It just depends on how many sections and topics we're covering in that particular chapter. This one, I try to label them so you can kind of know what you're getting into in each of the sections to make sure that you're, you know, ready for them before you get started on it. Here's our quiz. So there's a quiz at the end of each of the chapters. So at the end of chapter 1, there's a quiz, 2, 3, 4, etc. So that ends up being 10 quizzes that we'll be working on because we have 10 chapters. And then usually at the end of a module, we have a test that goes over those 2 chapters in the module. But for the first one, we actually don't take a test until the end of chapter 4. So the first test is over chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4. All the other ones, though, you do have a test at the end of the module. So let me click on one of these homeworks just in case you're new to using MyLabs. I know some of you may have used it before in like a college algebra class, or even in some of the science classes. They have very similar setups to what ours is. But when you click on that, it'll tell you at the top the due date, so you know kind of when it's due immediately without having to look at the schedule. It's going to show you that up there. It'll tell you if you have a time limit or anything, but this doesn't. You can work on it as many times as you want. And so you just click on one of the questions. And as you're working through this, let me pull this down here. At the bottom, not all of them, but most of the problems have something that says, help me solve this. And the help me solve this is going to take you step by step through the problem, showing you how to work it out. And then once you've completed it, it will give you a new problem to work on for a grade. So that's what the help me solve this is. The get more help here, it can take you straight to the textbook. It can open StatCrunch if that's something that would be helpful on the particular problem you're working on. Tech help usually is going to, if there's something available, it'll show you either how to use the calculator or Excel or something. And then the Ask My Instructor you can use to send me a message. So here it automatically puts in my email address and it will send me this particular problem that you're working on. And so you can write something in here or not, but either way I'll be able to see that, you know, you were working on this problem and you have a question about it, so I'll be able to answer you and hopefully help you through the problem. So that's one way to contact me if you have questions. Of course, the other way would be just to email me directly. But the nice thing about using the Ask My Instructor is the email's already on there. And also I get a copy of the actual problem you were working on. So that makes it easier for me to help you with whatever you were struggling with. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it that I wanted to show you. But if you have any questions, you can always email me at angela.galloway@kctcs.edu. You can call me if you'd like at 270-901-1084, but I do respond to email faster, and that's just easier for me because I'm not always in my office. Fridays we have virtual office hours, and then of course sometimes I'm teaching lecture classes during the week, so it's easiest if you email me because I can I have access to email just easier than I do my phone. If you're local in Bowling Green, I am on the main campus in Building C, Room 10. So that's where my office is. I hope you have a great semester, and I just want you to know that I'm here to help you be successful. So please feel free to email me as much as you need to, or to use the tutoring that we have available here at SkyCTC. Use all the resources that are in our Blackboard page and through the MyLabs product. There's a lot of stuff there really to help you be successful. So if you're having trouble finding anything, or you're just needing that extra help, let me know and I'll try to help point you in the right direction so you can find what you need. Hopefully this video was helpful to get you started at least, and I look forward to getting to know you the rest of the semester. Thanks.